What's up, everybody? This is Kayfabe Theory, and I'm Gary, and
I'm Keith.
again, Kayfabe Theory, and today we are doing our predictions for the Elimination Chamber at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's go ahead and get right into the big match of the morning, Men's Elimination Chamber. Keith, I know you are torn. What you got?
Well, let's see. There's not too many guys that I'm really like vying for the Elimination Chamber match for the men's. But I think if I had to pick somebody, I would pick Drew McIntyre because he's the only one that I would like to see contend for the championship against Seth Rollins. And I'm liking how he's has been on a roll lately with that T-shirt with CM Punk. I love that shirt so much.
I still got to buy that thing. Yeah, I think, and I only thought about this yesterday too, is that the things that Drew has been saying, it's almost like he's mirror imaging Seth when he was doing the Monday Night Messiah thing, because he's been talking a lot about how he's going to save Monday Night Raw, he's going to save WWE for the fans, and he's doing it for the World Championship. So I don't think he's going to go down the same route as becoming like Jesus H. McIntyre, but he kind of mirrors like that old Seth with the Messiah and saving the title. I'm kind of looking forward to just this, like, what is it, like another 6 weeks of just trolling Seth and Cody. And that's what he's been doing. He's been trolling everybody on the roster. I feel like they're setting him up for like if he does win at WrestleMania, I feel like they're setting him up for like 6 months of feuds already, because he's just pissing everybody off. He's the hot one right now. And I know like some people say, oh, well, like Seth said it, he's 0-2, but I think we've seen worse odds and that person still come out on top in the past.
Oh yeah, that's very true, bro.
Yeah, so do you think there's going to be any other storylines that come out through the chamber? Because I know there's like Kevin Owens and Logan Paul in there. I don't know if anyone else is gonna go through anything.
I remember we discussed earlier about LA Knight might go against Logan Paul for the United States Championship. So we might see rivalry start in there. Otherwise, not really much storyline to see going on right now.
I mean, Final Testament doesn't seem like, they kind of seem dark, but not really a supernatural type. So I don't see them like entering the Elimination Chamber and destroying Bobby. Though I'm sure that won't stop them possibly. Who else? Randy Orton. I just don't know what Randy's going to have going forward story-wise going into WrestleMania. Again, not unless something pops off with somebody. And let's go to the other side, talk about the Women's Chamber. Who are you picking here to face the Eradicator?
The Eradicator. Oh, man.
Possibly. We still don't know if Nia Jax will win or not, but we'll get to that soon.
Wow, this is the hard pick because once again, when we discussed how everything's been showing Becky Lynch so far and not much anybody else outside of Becky Lynch. I know we got superstars like Bianca Belair and Naomi, Tiffany Stratton showing up, and so there's not much we know about her. Raquel Rodriguez returned, and she's doing great. And even Liv Morgan, even though she hasn't really much made a splash besides appearing at Royal Rumble as number 30, it might end up to me being Becky Lynch as the number one contender, unless they want to run a storyline with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, because they can go back to how Bianca Belair eliminated Rhea Ripley, and that beef started back then. But otherwise, I don't see much outside of Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, this Monday on Raw kind of made me feel bad for the rest of the participants of the Elimination Chamber, because for weeks we've just been getting Becky solo mic time talking about how she's going to get to WrestleMania and she's going to beat Rhea Ripley and prove that she's like not missing a step essentially. But then finally when the rest of the competitors come out on screen, then here comes Nia Jax and she just destroys all of them in like 90 seconds. So I feel like the obvious is Becky, because they've just been teasing this forever. I'd agree with you with Bianca if I didn't think, personally, I think they're building to somehow her and Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. I think that stare down is one of those things that made fans realize, like, I didn't know I want this, but now that I know that I want this, I want this. I don't know what they're going to do with anybody else. I think storylines inside, there's more the possibility of something between Liv Morgan and Raquel, and maybe one of them turning because they were a tag team. But I mean, that's not definite. And if anything, I would like to think it would probably be Liv Morgan if she's on this revenge tour that she talks about. So we'll see. But yeah, I think this one is probably the second most predictable match on the card with Becky because she's just been getting all the focus so far.
Yeah, and also like you mentioned about Nia Jax, to me that kind of hurt the match by itself. I mean, they once again supposed to be building up all these people for Elimination Chamber. Next, you know, you just had Nia Jax just come and mow everybody over, and now I'm thinking, are they even like contendership ready now? Because you have one person who's not even part of the match just beat the brakes off of everybody. And now I'm thinking, like, I'm not sure they can win.
Well, I think we talked about this during the Royal Rumble too, was we talked about if Becky didn't win the Royal Rumble, that her losing to Nia Jax, that it would kind of be another factor. So if it's one of those things that if Becky wins the Elimination Chamber for #1 contendership, and again, we'll get to Rhea and Nia, but if Nia loses at the Royal Rumble, she's still got to win over the #1 contender, which kind of puts another fold in the story to build to WrestleMania. Because I highly doubt that after Perth, if Nia loses, she's just gonna take it on the chin and she's gonna walk off into whatever's next. So it'll kind of be another fold, at least for Becky going into WrestleMania.
Might be a fold, but maybe it'd be a triple threat match. Maybe I might see that happening. Because knowing Nia, she's not gonna take anything sitting down. She's gonna do everything and anything possible. Yeah. Especially if Becky Lynch wins. Oh yeah, she's gonna have something to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something simple as putting a #1 contendership on the line. Like maybe like Becky seems like one of those, like she'd kind of risk it all. Like if she wants to put Nia behind her, she'll put her #1 contendership up against Nia, and that'll get her the win over Nia. And then we'll just move on to WrestleMania to a one-on-one match. But yeah, again, I mean, we've been set up with like a billion different possibilities so far.
Well, I got only last thing I say is that, well, since we go to Elimination Chamber, I would like to see Naomi, Tiffany Stratton at least show out because they're the ones that are really new right now. Naomi just came back, so this is like a real good opportunity for her to display her abilities since coming back. Tiffany Stratton, the newcomer, so got a new face. We don't know much. People who don't watch NXT don't know too much about her, so that's another opportunity for her to show out too.
I mean, I don't know, I can't remember if there's enough space on there, but if she hits that moonsault from like the top of one of the cages or something, I'm sure she's got something planned. Then we got the Tag Team Championship Judgment Day versus Butch, Petey Dunne, and Tyler Bate.
I really don't know, and that's because, well, we hardly seen any tag team action between Priest and Baylor lately. Because mostly they've been dealing with R-Truth. That's all I've been saying.
They just seem to be in tag team matches whenever somebody gets a #1 contendership for the most part.
So I'm leaning towards Bate and Dunne taking it off their hands, but I'm seeing lately something else might form up. Maybe also Truth come back and take the championships away from them. You already seen Truth working with DIY, so that's another thing to think about. So
I think you mean DX. Oh, Truth.
Oh man. But anyway, there's a lot going on. I'm not, even though I'm picking Bate and Dunne, I'm not fully confident in that pick, but we'll see what happens.
Well, that's the funny thing is I'm going Judgment Day here, and I'm on the same thing. I'm not entirely confident in this match. I don't think it'll be anything from Bate and Dunne showing out. I think it'll probably be a good match, but the thing for me is just how R-Truth is going to play into this match. Is this Elimination Chamber essentially going to be R-Truth in the Judgment Day to what Sammy and the Bloodline was, where this is like the final split? and now it's time to try to like destroy everything, because I think I could see him and Miz becoming a team and challenging the Judgment Day, if this is like the time for R-Truth to officially be like, fine, I don't want to be part of the Judgment Day, and you can keep Tom, Nick, Mysterio. That's what I think is like, yeah, I think the Judgment Day will win, and somehow there's still an R-Truth factor, and it'll probably involve the titles eventually. And I know we talked about this a little bit beforehand, and I think we got to check on it, but Grayson Waller Effect, Cody, and Seth, do we expect an appearance from the tribal chief and his tequila server, Dwayne?
He said it's a killer. Wow. That's funny. I don't even know. I'll say no. This is going to be Grayson Waller acting like a douchebag, and eventually might get an appearance to Austin Theory, because what Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are best buddies, and you get like a face beating on the heels type deal.
It could be a quick like impromptu tag team match where Seth like gets ring time, but he's not in the ring a lot because he's still not cleared, I think.
Yes, I believe that.
But, you know, I was thinking about it too, is if they want some big moment with the Grayson Waller Effect, is now that Jimmy screwed Jay out of the Intercontinental Championship on Monday, I wonder if Jay will end up kind of de facto joining with Cody, and it's almost going to be like Cody's going to have his own equal faction against the Bloodline coming into WrestleMania, even though after Elimination Chamber, Seth will have Drew and stuff. But if Seth is still, as they've been building, going to be like Cody's shield or whatever, then I wonder if Cody's going to start building his own Bloodline defense.
Yeah, I believe that's going to happen. I actually agree with you on that, because Jay, knowing Jay, he probably is going to be fed up with Jimmy, because that's twice already.
Well, and fed up is an understatement.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
probably true. Titles.
two major titles. He close to winning, like this close winning, and he didn't get it because Jimmy came in and screwed him up. So at this point, he said, "Yo, probably needs some help," and he might end up joining Cody and Seth.
And I mean, that's just what would make it really interesting, is that it would just kind of be like you got these two factions, but it's basic, and at some point they'll probably all end up fighting, but they're all going to have their own individual fights. So it's just going to give a lot to do if that's the case. But Cody also would be down a man, so we'd have to see who his fourth is. I don't think Dustin's contract is up at all AEW yet, so
no.
But hey, Dustin could be the first one to bridge the gap between AEW and WWE.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because we've already got even though Triple H didn't like saying Forbidden Door, the door was open with TNA now. So AEW could be next.
Yeah, that might work out.
And then to the home country girl, her women's world championship, Rhea Bloody Ripley, defending against Nia Jax. So I feel like we're in agreement here, and this can probably be the shortest segment in this video. Is Rhea Ripley going to be dethroned in her home country right before her 1 year mark of being the women's world champion coming into WrestleMania? No.
Yeah. 100% behind you on that one. It's a really hard sell for me to see Nia Jax win it. It's really hard for me to see that. I believe Nia Jax will like overpower, throw her around a little bit, but ultimately at the end of the day, I think Rhea Ripley will still win overall.
Yeah, and I think she's going to get some kind of like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant moment where she's either going to like just scoop slam Nia, like kind of like the pop that Jade caught at the Royal Rumble, where she's gonna slam Nia, or she's gonna hit the Riptide. on Nia and win the match. So I think that's what we're pretty much the biggest thing that we're getting out of this. But again, it probably won't be the end for Nia, and we'll have to see how she plays into at least this thing, presumably between Rhea and Becky going forward.
You know what make the match great, but I'm not sure. Well, maybe we can pull it off. Basically, get on the top rope and do a riptide of Nia Jax from the top rope, hit the ground, and the ring breaks apart. Wow, this slams her.
Well, okay, now that you mention that entirely, because who knows if that'll finish the match, because I think 2 times that's happened in the history now, the match never finished. I don't think anyone pinned anybody.
Nope.
It was just like it was over because now we don't have working equipment. So if that were to happen, it would kind of be I think it would be a little bit of a lackluster send-off in the end, where just the screen goes black after the PLE from everyone laying in the ring and it blown up. But it would also give Nia Jax justification for continuing her fight, because she never technically lost in Perth. So that could be another cause and effect with that fold. But yeah, that would be pretty sweet if they did that.
Oh yeah, that's only happened twice, and two people involved Big Show.
Yeah, and he's being all elite right now, so he's not exactly available. To our wonderful audience, thank you so much for watching this video. Like it if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Once again, this is Kayfabe Theory. I am Gary, and my partner in crime,
I am Keith.
All right, thanks again for watching, and we will see you on our review of the event afterwards.